Okay, welcome to part two of the video where I'm describing what the enterprise and employability challenge is all about. And for this part, we're just going to have a quick look at the mark scheme and how it fits in. I've just been through the different tasks here: the skills audit, the innovation venture, the destination plan, which includes a bit of a subtask to do with your financial demands of independent living. So that's where our numeracy comes in, and a reflection presentation at the end, which is a little bit like an interview, okay, with competency-based questions. So this is the mark scheme. To be noted, when we do mark these, when your teacher does grade this, they have to have everything in to get, because it's marked holistically, okay? You can pick up creativity and innovation marks through, well, any of these tasks, okay? You can pick up personal effectiveness marks through any of them. Numeracy a little bit more limited, but you can pick it up in different areas throughout. Obviously, the financial piece of work you do will be the main area. And digital literacy, which is a term for ICT, is going to be right throughout it, okay? And then this one is your participation in the whole venture, the whole enterprise and employability challenge. So let's start off with creativity and innovation, where we'll be looking for things when we're using this as a judgment. Over in here, we'll look in band 3, because that's where you should all be aiming. We'll be looking to see if you've done detailed, comprehensive and effective generation and analysis of original ideas. So that's your innovation venture. If you remember in the previous video, I discussed that you have to come up with different ideas for your innovation venture, different ways of doing it, okay? And a lot of students in the past, they just want to concentrate on the one idea, which again isn't going to give you that mark. So if you even look down here in the D and E, it uses original ideas in band 1. So you do have to study and look at different methods. And we will be going through what's one of the few lessons you'll do will be on how to generate ideas and how to analyze each of those ideas using things called SWOT analysis and creating effective mind maps to get your ideas down onto paper. So that's important for this one, okay? Huge marks here for that. Throughout, we'll be looking for detailed, imaginative, comprehensive and effective responses to anything, okay? So the way you display your destination plan, your career planning, is it a tatty bit of word that you've used? Is it just a rough sort of just typing things down? Or have you come up with a really good imaginative way of pulling together information? It could be through a PowerPoint, it could be in a Prezi, you could have used some Poplets, you could have done some surveys, you've created graphs and charts, you've put things into tables, you may even have produced an animation or a video or a screencast like I'm doing at the moment to describe your skills, attributes, etc., or a webcam broadcast, those kinds of things. Very different to your other subjects. We're looking, this is creativity, we're looking for you to study ways of producing information in the huge variety of ways there are out there. Okay, and then at the end, this is your response in the third statement. This will be in your presentations. Detailed, comprehensive and effective evaluation of the application of creativity and innovation. So that's the evaluation of it. That's you discussing it through competency-based questions at the end. So essentially, right throughout the entire challenge, okay, all this stuff up here, we're looking for you to be creative and innovative as possible. And we're also looking for lots of different ideas when you're doing your innovation venture. Okay, the second learning outcome is personal effectiveness. This was in the community challenge as well. And again, it's all about skills auditing, planning your development, and managing your own role, managing your responsibilities, your time management, the way you behave, your working relationships in your group, those kinds of things. So there's a lot of observation goes into this from your teacher, because you'll be doing a lot of this work in class. So you've got to show that you are working well with others in the team. You are working well in your own role. You are taking responsibility for your learning, and you are developing work that is effective. So we will be, the pen portrait task one will assess a lot of these, where we'll be looking at how well you've analysed your skills on an enterprise level and place that into a pen portrait. And so that's that one there, and your detailed evaluation at the end of your own personal effectiveness. So this one's got a lot of observation by your teacher, okay? So make sure you're always on task and working well on the project. Okay, part 3, Learn Outcome 3 is the first time we've introduced some numeracy. So we've got level 3 numeracy. So 3 areas that we're looking at: appropriate techniques and methods accurately and effectively used to solve a variety of problems. Okay, so the financial report will have a variety of problems, and there'll also be a fair bit of finance in the cash flow and profit and loss areas up here. So that's where number work comes in, basically. So we'll be looking for numeracy throughout there. Detailed, comprehensive and effective analysis of numerical data. So when you get some data in, how well do you analyze it to produce other information? And mainly, again, if you follow the guidance we're going to give you for the financial literacy element up in here, this task here, this bullet point here, you should do well in this one. And then effective interpretation of numerical results. Okay, so you display some numerical results and you interpret them in a presentation or mainly in the report that you produce in your financial literacy research here. So that's going to cover lots of that. Digital literacy was throughout. It is a digital qualification. It's why you're in IT rooms. You're constantly using digital technologies, and we would be looking to assess that based on these 3 different statements here. Again, I'm going to stay in the top band because that's where we all want to be. And the whole passport, so the entire thing, all 4 tasks, demonstrates effective organization, storage, management, sharing, and protection of information. So simple things like storing your files appropriately in well-named folders and files will push you up into this area here. That will make it effective organization, if it's named properly, the folders, because like I say, they pick it up electronically, so they'll be able to see how well you store your entire destination passport, all your work. Another thing is the sharing and protection of that information. You've all been given Google accounts, okay? Google Classroom accounts, which we've just had in the school. How are you going to share the information with your group or possibly share with your teacher? Google allows you to do this well. So if you can show demonstrations of that using your Google account, that's going to get you marks in this area as well. We don't want the situation where, say, there's 6 of you in a group and one of you keeps all the files on their area, their login. That means if you're off ill or you're not in school for some reason, there's 5 others in your team that can't access that group work. There are online collaboration tools such as Wigio, which you did in the digital literacy course, which does this, and we had great feedback from last year's Year 12 on this as an effective tool to share, manage and store your information. Other ways you can store your information, all this stuff cloud-based, is through social media and the use of it throughout the project. So we would expect you, so effective use of digital techniques, including social media, to present information and numerical data, tables, graphs, and diagrams. So social media is needed. So what we would look for is when you do your innovation venture, your business, we'd expect you to create a business Facebook account for your innovation venture, a Twitter account, possibly a Google Plus account, Instagram account. You don't have to do all of them, but somehow or other you need to have some social media management in there. And from a personal view, they like you to have what they call a LinkedIn account, which will allow you to place your CV and other information online for prospective employers and universities to view. Okay, it's one of the new ways of getting your information out there and getting jobs. Okay, perfectly safe for you to do that. And then throughout, the presentation of your information should be done well using IT. Good looking reports, proper headings, neat, tidy, appropriate use of fonts, appropriate use of presenting information such as numerical data. So they love to see tables, graphs, diagrams. So try and use these wherever they are applicable, wherever you're comparing something, do it in a table, wherever you're presenting some sort of numerical information, can you turn it into a graph? There will be IT tutorials and courses, some videos, etc., to show you how to do some of these things. So that's your digital literacy. And then lastly is, these are on the end of every challenge, your ability to participate in the enterprise and employability challenge. So comprehensive, coherent and effective innovation proposal. How good is it basically? How well have you put it together? How well is it structured? Have you covered everything that we asked you to? Is it in detail? Have you put a lot of work and effort into it? If you just spend a couple of hours across 8 weeks, it's going to be down here. If you've put effort in and you've covered everything as a group and you've put a lot of effort into it, hopefully you'll all be up in this area here. If you put effort into your presentation, well-structured and highly effective presentation of your innovation proposal, so that's how well you communicate, how well you talk, how well it's put together. Is it rehearsed? Is it practiced? Or are you just standing in there looking at the floor mumbling? Okay, you're going to be right down in here if you do that. So a well-rehearsed, well-structured, innovative, creative, going back up here, presentation, things like videos, animations, anything like that, anything a little bit different, a little bit outside of the box, not just always just PowerPoint slides that's just flowing through. Okay, that's not particularly creative and innovative. Okay, it's music, jingles, and all sort of stuff like that that you should be looking to try and gain extra marks in. And then lastly, your personal reflection presentations. This is not your group one, this is task 4 at the end. How well you put that together, how effective it is. Are you clear, appropriate in the way you communicate that information across? There will be tutorials, there will be information, there will be skills lessons based on how to give a good presentation, a vital skill for any of you to have going forward. Okay, so that's that for the mark scheme. Always keep it handy when you're working on this, and remember, you can pick up any of these marks anywhere through any of these tasks. It's holistic marking. We need all 4 in before we can make a judgment. Okay, thanks for watching, and remember, come back to this video if you ever need some further information, or pop in and see me if you are stuck. Thank you very much.